I have had and will always have the courage to stand up for my heritage and my people and my background and just about any, you know, any travesty of justice, any
Yeah, I think it
wrongdoing.
extends beyond
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
it definitely hits closer to home when it's an anti-Semitic issue. Um, you know, I have a bunch of broken bones in my body. Um, I have 3 ribs on this side that have been broken, 2 on this side, my nose 3 times, this thumb joint, this ankle.
Oof.
Um, I'm forgetting a bunch. This forearm, 90% of which were from fights. I've never hesitated to throw myself into the fray when it comes to defending the honor of my family, of my loved ones, and certainly my own honor or the honor of my friends. It's become more and more of an issue these days because now we're dealing with lawsuits and things of that nature, so I can't really do what I was trained to do. But it's coming from a family of Holocaust survivors, where my grandfather on my mother's side survived Bergen-Belsen. He was a stocky guy, and he was on wheelbarrow duty. And so he'd be carting bodies to the crematorium. He was still in physical condition, strong enough to do that. And he did that until the camp was liberated. My grandmother was a 6-year-old girl at the time in Auschwitz, and she survived being in line to the gas chambers on 3 separate occasions, having the people in line allow her, since she was a little girl, to crawl underneath their legs to the back of the line each time until the chamber was filled to capacity, and she couldn't. There wasn't room for her in. After the 3rd time, her camp was liberated. Um, and like I said, it's always been something that's very, very close to me. But whether it's any sort of matter of restriction of freedom, restriction of liberty, of trying to force anyone's ideals, morals, ethics, way of beliefs, system of beliefs down another person's throat, I react very, very violently and very, very direct and with a lot of passion. And with this particular instance, maybe part of the reason that it hurt as much as it did is because I've been a fan of Pink Floyd's music and their artistry for decades. And, it's been well documented and well known, Mr. Waters' leanings in terms of supporting the BDS and in terms of supporting the Palestinian side of things. And let's take this away from it being a political issue for a minute. And whether or not you agree with the policies of the State of Israel, and there are many times which I myself do not agree with the policies of the current administration that's in power in Israel. I didn't agree with after the UN gave temporary recognition to the Palestinian people as a nation state, that the immediate knee-jerk reaction was from the Netanyahu administration was to allow for additional expansion into the West Bank territories that are in question. I thought that was a very foolish move. That being said, I am completely supportive of my people, and I'm completely supportive of the country within which my brother and grandmother and 200 other relatives still reside, even though I don't always agree with the policies of their government. Now, let's take it a step further. If you were going to make a political statement against the people, against the government of Israel, and in terms of their particular policies towards the Palestinian issue, then the proper way to do that would be to take the symbol of the government of Israel, or the state of Israel, namely the Israeli flag, and put it on that pig. All right. The very fact that you're affixing anything Jewish to a pig is offensive in and of itself. Okay. And I know that other symbols are utilized during the show, but they aren't put on the pig, are they? Okay. The cross is somewhere in the show. Other symbolisms of other symbols of government and religion are used throughout the show, but they're not put on the damn pig. And on one side of the pig, you have some Nazi-looking characters giving the Sieg Heil salute. And on the other side, you have the Star of David, the Lone Star of David, a symbol which has stood for the Jewish people as a whole for over 3,000 years. And there's no one on the face of this planet, whether it's Roger Waters or anybody else, who has the right to redefine what that symbol stands for. And if you're going to put that symbol on a pig and fly it through your audience as a symbol of tyranny and oppression and greed, that is a very, very blatant anti-Semitic statement that shows exactly where your thoughts lie, that this is no longer a political issue, that this is something personal that you have towards an entire race and an entire people. And it's not about artistic freedom, and it's not about, poetic license, and it's not about freedom of expression. It's about hate imagery, which is backed up by hate speech. And that should be condemned. Art, when it is disguised as hate disguised as art, doesn't work, and it shouldn't be allowed. And I'm not saying that it needs to be censored. I'm not saying that we should limit people's creative license per se. I'm saying that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And if you're going to go ahead and put something like that out there, and you're going to wear your heart on your sleeve in that anti-Semitic way, well, then be prepared to deal with the repercussions of it. And I'm certainly not finished dealing with it on my end. There are other individuals in the industry which I'm looking to be speaking to about this very issue and trying to garner a little bit more support to kind of say to him, other than just one rabbi in Belgium whose letter he decided to actually address, thank you, Mr. Waters, for utilizing the ADL as some sort of a justification for what you're doing. And I would say to the Anti-Defamation League that you screwed up big time on this, that you missed a major and flagrant display of anti-Semitism, which you should be condoning with every fiber of your being. That is why you exist. That is the reason and the purpose that you are on this planet. And you let this just slip by you and brush it under the rug. And I have no idea why. And so I will always utilize my position and this platform that I've been given to speak out against injustices, to speak out against adversity, to speak out against the numerous crimes that are committed by the ignoramuses of this world on a daily basis. I think that I have an obligation to do that.